Hello everybody, Tracey here, and welcome to day 9 of 25 Days to an Organized Craft Room. We're going to keep this video short today, partially because it's a quick topic, but also there has been, this is like the 5th time I've tried to do this video, and every time I try to start, somebody comes into the front yard, to the front thing, the town guys are trying to find the water shut off for the new neighbor, somebody else came to the new neighbor, like it's just, and the dog keeps racing in here and barking at whatever comes up. So I'm really going to try to get through it before the next person decides to visit. Okay, yesterday was day 8, and we were doing punches and dies. So my punches pretty much already organized, so when I showed you yesterday, that's what it is. I just have to finish building, like kind of reframing and building my punch stand, but that's the punches themselves. I've sorted through, it's all good. I went through the dies. I don't know if you can see behind me. The dies here. And I have, grab these while I'm at it. I have sorted through them, and I cheered out loud. I literally cheered out loud when I saw that the perennial postage dies were still current, because I had already put them in with everyday arches, because these are 2 of my favorite die sets, and I was so excited. I figured this one's fairly new. I figured it was going to stick around, but I wasn't sure about this one, and so I was like, yes! Actually cheering for it when it stayed, so it's kind of funny. So I mentioned yesterday I had an idea for how to do this, and I thought I would just show you how it actually played out, and there's 2 of them here for a reason, because this brilliant idea I did this way, was to, nope, I'll show you this one first. So my brilliant idea, I have to remember which one was which, was to take the dies, because I want to be able to, like in the old cases that I had them, I think I have one of them here. I had cases like this, right? So I had 2 sets of dies in it, because just having one set was not, sufficiently using it. And then I had, that's kind of the same. I had the tags on the end so I could see what they were. So I want to make the most of it as well. Like I don't have a bunch of these cases. Look, I could buy more of them. That's not a problem, but I want to make the most of the use of them. So I thought this is fine. So I cut a piece of cardstock in half. Well, I trimmed off an inch and then I cut it in half. So this is 8.5 by 5, right? And I thought, well, this is going to be the perfect size to fit in this envelope. So I wrote the 2 things in it. Perennial postage is on the front, everyday arches is on the back. And I thought, well, this is perfect, because I can take these, my magnet sheets, and just stick them right to the cardstock. And then I'll have like the 2 things, and I can just pull them out. Because this way they stand up a little higher, they're not so low down, right? Because if I want to mix them with, just a minute. Oh, thought I had one in there that was. If I want to mix them, this is not the right example, but if I want to mix them with like a new set of dies that I get, the words are all up at the top. So if the words are up here and then down here and then right, so I wanted like try to make it close to the same height. So yeah, that was a great idea, right? Until I realized, but where do I put these then? Because I still want to keep these, so like if I ever go to sell these dies, I like to put this back with it. But again, I want this thing that tells me there's 12 dies in this. So I thought, okay, I'll just leave them on the magnet, like I didn't peel the sticky off the back. I'll just leave them on the magnet, and I'll put this in behind it, and then I'll put it like this. And I thought that'll work. Put them in my envelope. So when I'm flipping through, and a lot of these dies, especially the ones that I keep for like years and years, I know what they are, right? So I don't even have to look down here. I just have to, if I'm like, well, what am I going to use? I just have to see these 2 names, quite frankly, and I'll be like, ooh, nope, those don't work. Oh, yep, that works, right? So it worked for me, but it's going to go like this. So as I flip through, I see them, and then the other one's on the back. This one, I was going to grab one of these big sheets. Like for this one, it works quite nicely, right? There's these, I don't like to put the little pieces too close to the end of the magnet, because when you pull the magnet out, if you twist it even the slightest, they tend to pop off. So I like the little ones at the top, and I like to have space around them. So this was just one of the leftover ones before, a 5x7 one that was cut, right? This was a piece cut off the end of I don't know what. But these are all really big dies, and with the exception of a tiny little bit at the top, the whole die fits in here. And I thought, well, there's no point putting a big, huge chunk of magnet in here when so I have a feeling that based on what's in the die set, it will just be whatever. So these are current, so they're going to go in my current stash. Now, the thing with the current stash, and you'll notice, because that is perennial postage and everyday arches. Those ones don't generally end up in alphabetical order. because the things that I put together, like those two, I know I will keep for a long time. That's why I converted them and put them in there. There's one set of dies that I got that I'm like, eh. So I just left them in the case they're in. I'm not going to convert them because when they retire, I'm going to sell them. I'm not going to keep them long term. Unless something changes and I warm up to them in between. But right now, I'm not. So then these ones happen to both be like the same initials, but these ones were similar. Like I used this, and these make great tags. They're like the right size for it, right? So I kind of used them together. But these are ones I've had for a long time, and I know I'm not parting with anytime soon. But I tend to sort, instead of going alphabetical in my die thing where it's standalone dies, I tend to have like the favorites or the labels or the shapes that I use the most kind of end up being at the front. But I tend to have labels and shapes at the front and then individual dies at the back. And here I have a couple current ones. Like this is one of my current ones, and I do quite like this, and I probably will keep it. I haven't switched it over. So I didn't buy the stamp set. I only bought the dies. This is boho. The dies are called Sunshine Vibes. The suite and the stamp set are boho something. I can't remember now. Love this set. Lots of fun to make with it. I have like 3 different rainbow sets. So when I was going through my stamps and dies yesterday, and the day before, I guess, I thought, okay, I have 3 different rainbow sets. I don't need 3 different rainbow sets. So then I went and picked which one I liked the best. It happens this one's still current, so that helps make the decision. But I like this one because you can make just a great, like, straight edges, rainbow out of it. But you have all these fun shapes to use too. And so, yeah, this one was one of the ones I was keeping. And then of the other 2 I had left, I did keep one because it had some slightly different stuff to it. But anyways, so shapes and stuff go at the back. The labels that I use the most often go in the front. So that's kind of how I sort them. So I showed you this thing, right? So one of these, I have a lot of these cases, and like I said, this magnet sheet actually pulls off quite easily from the inside of this case. It doesn't fall off, which is great, but it pulls off quite easily when you want it to. So I have all these pieces of magnet, and I thought, well, I'm going to be able to use them somehow. So for the retired dies, I thought, okay, well, maybe for the retired ones, because some of the retired ones I don't have labels for, or like I don't have the inserts anymore. Or if I do, they're in this big, huge box I have of things that have to be eventually sorted. So they may or may not ever see a label. So I thought, well, those ones, I can put the magnet straight onto the cardstock, and then when I switch them, the magnet's just stuck to the cardstock. So I will try that if I come across one. But as it turns out, these ones, which I know I'm going to keep long term, both of them, I had the labels, or I had the inserts for them. So this is the insert, which I can't open now. There we go. And so, like I said, I still want this name and this info, and I want to be able to, so I decided, you know what, for these ones, I'm going to stick the magnet to the back. Because this piece that is like the back side of this is basically just like a white sheet. I think there's a little Stampin' Up logo at the bottom, but it's basically white. There's no information on it. So then I thought, well, if I do it this way, then when I pull this magnet out, like I instantly have all the information here. So I decided to try that. So I decided I would do one of each, and I haven't converted any other ones yet, because I'm going to do this and I'm going to use these for a little bit, and I'm going to decide which one I like better. If I come across ones where I don't have the insert anymore, yes, I'm just going to stick the magnet right to the cardstock, and have it at my disposal. So the one thing I haven't figured out as far as dies goes yet are the paper pumpkin add-on dies. So we have all these little packages of dies. It came with, when they started doing it, the first one they did was one that said thanks, this one. And I love this word thanks. It is so great. This is a really nice label, and these are really nice butterfly die cuts. So this was like every 3 months they came out with another one. This one has a great tulip in it. This one, it's the leaf and the word hooray if you want it. This one is joy and some great flowers. That was the December, the one that just passed, the October, November, December one. This was from, I think, last spring, and it has this nice big heart that cuts out like a double heart. This goes with one of the stamp sets. And then there's this, oh, there you can see it, the little honeycomb in it, right? This one is hugs, the label, and a flower and a leaf. This one is hello, a circle, and the greatest little acorn that you can turn into a strawberry. It's fantastic. This is the one from, I think, one Christmas ago. big tag, the word Merry, and then this sort of, the December is a non-Christmas one. It was a foliage type thing, so this big fern. And then this is the most cursed one, which has another little postage thing. The word beautiful and these tulips. These are the ones that... This is what they look like. I like to make a little sample showing them. So this is the outside die, tulips, leaves, and the word beautiful. Right? So I love these little die sets. So I looked because when they're like while supplies last. So as it turns out, these are the only two that are still currently available. All of these other ones have sold out. So I'm still in the process though of deciding, because there's so many great little things in here that they come in really handy when all of a sudden you need, like, I just need that. They have lots of these great little leaf dies, which, oh, so I love them. So I for now decided I'm keeping them all. And I don't know if I'm going to keep them all in just a little box like this because they're very small. Currently, because I have lots of room, they're just at the front of my current dies, right? So I can just flip through them like this. They're not on magnets. I kind of like them on magnets. Do I want to put like 4 to, because I could, I'm pretty sure I could very easily put 4 of them, because they're meant to fit in these little packages, right? So put 4 of them per side. So I could get like 8 of them per case on just a slightly bigger magnet sheet. And then I really should have written down on these things as they went, which quarter they were from. So you could go back, but I didn't do that. So I might do that now. But I'm still I'm not 100% decided on whether I do this or whether I just leave them in the little envelopes like this. So it's okay to have a follow-up. So for right now, they're sorted through. I have decided I'm keeping them. They fit very nicely. There's a ton of room at the front of this one thing. I gotta put that in the other box. So my dies are done. My dies and punches are done. And yeah, if I change my mind on those or I decide, yeah, I'm going to actually mount them, I'll do that. But for now, they're organized. They're not taking up space, readily available to use. So I think we're good. Okay, so we're on day 8. And day 8, not sure why I decided that needed to go in the middle. We're on day 9. That was day 8. So day 9 is catalogs and magazines. Now, there's so many things that can, like so many ways and so many things to save, that this is going to come down to your individual choice. I'm going to tell you what I do and why, and then you guys decide. So this is our current catalog that came out, and I started printing off the little, like the sheets. They started making them. Before Stampin' Up! Started making them because they said they were not going to, but I think enough people asked. I would make my own. So I always have like a 1 or 2 page, like the original ones that came out when I made my own, I had just tiny little pictures. I just wanted to know what product came with what release. So I'd have like enough of a list, because once I saw it once, or I could always go online and look what it was. I just wanted to be able to see this, it's a bundle, it's a stamp set, so I always had a piece of paper. So I keep these now because this is current. So if I want to know what the latest thing that released is, you can go online, and usually, for online exclusives, definitely, the newest things are always the first things that show up because they list it by item number. But so I keep this. So I just tuck one of these inside my mini. So this is the current mini catalog that just started a week ago. And this is the current annual catalog. And a new one of these is coming out in May. So March, when I go to On Stage, I will get the new one. I'm very excited about it. So for the first few months after a new annual catalog comes out, I'll save last year's and this year's. I mean, and I have space. I could do it forever, but I just tend to only do it for a bit. And then, because this catalog just came out and the Christmas one just ended, I'll keep the Christmas one for a couple months. So I generally will have, like right now, as soon as like a few months have passed with the annual catalog, I've looked back and forth and compared the two enough that I've already got most of my questions about the old catalog versus the new one answered. And so then I tend to hit the recycle bin with it. So at one point there might be, in a couple months, there might be 4 catalogs here. But I don't keep a lot. I just keep the most current ones. And I don't refer to them, like I said, as much as I used to. I do a lot online now. But for certain things, or like if I want to show you something and say, here's the suite we're going to use to do, oh, look at that. This is actually the stamp set we're going to use for February 6th. And I love this stamp set. Oh my God, is it ever good? I like to be able to point at them. Now, if you are old enough to remember, and I'm going to go back like 4 or 5 years at least, but it was definitely when I first started I think we're going on almost 14 years now. It was, it seemed like they said it. It was way more obvious. And it used to say on our catalogs, they used to say catalog and idea book. Like all the annual catalogs, idea book on them. Because that's what they are. Whether it's the small one, like the minis, or whether it's the big one, um, there is no shortage of ideas in here. Here, right here is a great way to make this card. And if you don't have this set, but you're like, you know what, I like that layout. Like I could put like layer a thing and then have my little vignette of stuff here. Or this is a great layout. I have a similar one like this. That's one of my favorites. Piece down the side, bigger piece here. And even if you go, yeah, this is too clunky though, I don't want a big square, but I'll put a circle with a strip. And then instead of this, I'm going to right? Like, so the idea book part is quite valid. So yes, you can get lots of ideas from these. And I do know some people who collect every catalog they've ever had. Like they started with Stampin' Up, whether they're a demonstrator or a customer, it doesn't matter. They started using Stampin' Up 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they have every catalog that they've ever been given. Part of it's nostalgia, part of it is going back for ideas. Because some layouts, they get reused and reused and reused with new stuff, and they look fresh every time you put something new on them. So if you decide you're going to keep every catalog ever, that's great as long as you have space for it. But if you have a system, just as long as you have some kind of a system or a plan, don't. I would think that the best advice I could give is don't just keep it because you have it. Keep it because you want it. Like I said, nostalgia is a fine. Like that's a fine reason for it. Or if you use it, if you refer to them for layouts, or if you go back to them or whatever. Especially the newer catalogs. Now that one of the things they're doing in the new catalogs is like not just the bigger pictures. I gotta figure out where the page is. It's usually somewhere at the beginning. They added a bunch of. Oh, I can't find it. They added a bunch of scrapbooking at the front of this one, so I don't exactly know what page it is. But I know with some of these, they're like right at the front. And they've started doing. Of course, I could have looked this up ahead of time. There we go. They've got lots of pages like this where they have templates on them for tags or cards or whatever. So these ones, there's a lot of good information here. Now, we're going to talk tomorrow about other stuff, but do you keep the whole catalog just for this piece? Or do you cut out just this piece and you have a system of where you can put them? Or do you just take a picture of just this piece that you need? Or do you just save like a digital version of this so you have this when you go to refer to it? The choices, there's many. There's many with different ways you can do it. Like I said, just have a system, right? So go through your catalogs, make sure that where they are is organized, and that you are intentionally keeping what you are keeping. Do not give away anything that you will regret later. I'm not telling you you have to throw out all your old catalogs and have you regret them later. As a demonstrator, I have stacks of catalogs as well. Now I have a different section for these. These are the ones that I put labels on, and those ones don't actually have labels on them, but I put labels on them and I give them to customers. So these 3 boxes that I had them in front of my cabinet when we started, then I pushed them over to the window because I got tired of moving them out of the way of the door. And I said, this is the one thing I still haven't decided what I was going to do with. I will tell you that I realized the other day as I was grabbing something that one of my drawers is full of just like one project that I'm doing right now, my Advent Calendar Extras. And we're doing 12 projects, 3 a week for the 4 weeks in January. So I have a whole bunch of stuff in there. I have all my samples and old ones and all the bits and pieces that came with it. But I realized the other day, that's temporarily, like I have the bins here is where my current projects are, and that is usually enough. This is my next class, this is the class afterwards, and this is like the stuff that's I'm working on for like later, kind of like soon, but not one of the like very, very next ones. So I have enough room for my like projects in the works kind of thing, and I've decided that I don't really need a put away bin, so my put away bin is my cards that I've made recently, so they're nice and handy that I can show, right? So I have the 2 things that I need, I already have. So that one drawer, when it empties with like this one project that's in it, it's going to be empty. So I now actually have a place to put my catalog stuff. So that is problem solved. It's just a matter of which one do I want sitting on the floor for now until that's finished? And right now it is these bins because they're in bins and it's easy. So in addition to catalogs, I have some little like invite cards. I have some all of a sudden I forgot what they're called. Shopping list, wish list type things, these things. I have some, I'm not actually, some sticky notes. So for when I go to make catalog packages, so I have all of those in one bin, which will translate into the drawer. And then I have some like little cellophane bags and stuff. So I go through those every year just to make sure, because like I'm about to get the new, so this mini is good till April. So I just got these. I also have a bag. I just realized on the just around the corner of my desk that when I go to an event I take it because it's got stuff in it. So I'll go look in there too because chances are that bag is full of Christmas catalogs. Okay, so I'll take those Christmas ones out, put them in the recycle, and replace them with the spring ones. So if I go, because I just go to grab that bag, it's got some stationery like pens and it's got tape. So if I go somewhere, you go to an event, you always need to tape something up. Any of the stuff like that I may need, and then some catalogs. So if I get asked for catalogs, I have them ready. Same with annual catalogs. I'll start pulling out the old annual catalog and get ready to put in the new one, and I'll make sure my schedule of events and like all the stuff that goes in a catalog package that you give out, which is I realize just a demo thing, but that those are all like ready to go. So I am going to go through those. Now the other thing that I want to go through is I'm going to quickly flip this because I have nothing to show you in front of me. Is magazines. So, and I have no idea where my picture went. Just a minute. People are going to be like, what the heck? She's not there. I'll just give it a quick refresh. Come on. Okay, well, we'll just go back to an empty desk then because, oh, there we go. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, we'll just go back to this. I don't understand what's happening. Um, so Stampin' Up! Used to put out a weekly a magazine when I first started, and it was called something else. Or actually, I think it might have been quarterly. And then I think they switched to more frequent, and then they switched to a digital. And so there's various versions of this older magazine. Plus, there's like Scrapbookers Weekly or Cardmakers Monthly, or like just like commercial magazines. So I would imagine some of you guys also collect those. So same as the catalogs. Have a system and have it intentional, and whatever works for you. I find that the easiest way for me to do anything is to say I have this much space. So if you have a bookshelf and that's where the magazines go, then that's the limit on how many you can keep. Right? That's how I do it. So when I got these new bookshelves, and I had a bunch of magazines and they were just kind of in a box in a drawer on one of them old cabinets. And when I got the new ones and I was pulling everything out and I looked at them, I realized that I hadn't looked at those books in years. Like probably since I've living in this house for 6 years now, I probably hadn't looked at one of those magazines in the 6 years I've been in this house. And I kept them for ideas. I didn't keep them for nostalgia or any like it was. I wanted them so that I could refer back to them to get ideas. Because when I looked through them first time, I was like, oh, good layout. Oh, I like the way they did that. Ooh, that's a nice color combination. But I found I never looked back at them. I think there's so much information that is constantly coming at us that gives us ideas for layouts and samples and stuff that I just didn't need to go back and look at them. So before I put them in the recycle bin, I kind of gave them a quick look through just to see if there was anything in there that like I really needed. And there was a couple things that I was like, no, that I want to do, like I want to copy that. So I just took a picture of it and then got rid of the magazine because I have a digital system of filing those things and I have different ideas and some of them are just by year now because there's different ways to do it. Some of them I have by theme and some would just say great sketch, you know. So I opted for taking a picture. I did have some places where I had ripped pages out of different things that I had saved and ideas, but I found that every time I opened that file, they would like fletcher to the ground. So those were the same. I gave them a good harsh look and thought, is that still my style? Am I still going to use that? If I did, I took a picture of it, put it in the recycle, and if not, just into the recycle. So if you want to keep all the physical copies, that's great. Just have a system and just every now and again kind of have a look through and just say, do I still want all this? Right? I think that's the easiest way because you want to keep making room for the new, right? New ideas come in, new catalog, new stuff. I would be curious to know if anybody out there has every catalog they've ever did. I did when I first started. I had kept them for a while, but again, I found I didn't reference them that much. And then after I got rid of them all, when I went to reference them once, like one time, I was like, "What year was that again?" You can Google. There's a lot of them. The one that she's like the greatest source of like referencey type stuff is Dawn Olszewski. I think is how you pronounce her last name. I can't remember her full. It's Do Stamping, like D-O, like Dawn Olszewski, but it was Do Stamp. I think it's Do Stamping with Dawn. I think is her website. But if you do type in Do Stamping, you'll probably start. It'll probably just pop up. She's very popular, and she's got all of the old. They go back quite a ways. I don't know if they go to 98, but they go to the early 2000s. And she's got all the catalogs and minis, excuse me, minis, celebration flyers. She's got them all digital. Now, hers are the American version. So North America has the same catalog. Some of the other markets, they sometimes will like release stamps slightly off, or at least they used to. I don't think they do anymore, but so the American ones are still the exact same, like their exact same layout. Everything is the same. The price is different, and it hurts to look at the American price because it is so much lower than what the exchange rate generally makes it seem like it should be. But it will tell you the name of the stamp set, the number that it was, what when it came out in. It'll have some card ideas around it. So there, if you want to reference them, you still can. And she's one of many demonstrators that actually posts that. She also has a whole bunch of like pictures of dies and die sets, and like so those tags that I had, she'll have a picture of that set, and she'll have all the measurements for how big the tags are. Like I just kind of eyeball them, but she'll say like the biggest tag is 2 by 4, and the next one down is two and a, or what did I say 1.5 by 3 1/4. Like she a ton of reference stuff on her site. Anyways, so go through catalogs, catalog handout stuff, whatever, depending if you're a demo, hobby, whatever, and your magazines, and give them a thorough once over, and see what you do. And yeah, I'm just curious. Let me know, any of you guys, if you've kept every catalog since you started. Okay? Happy organizing, guys, and we will be back tomorrow for day 10. Bye.